And then I pooped myself, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Welcome back everyone. If you're new here and you're clicking on this video from the title, or you have been blessed by the algorithm, welcome in. And if you're not, welcome back. It's so lovely to see you again. Today's video is a little different. I've done stuff like this before where I have shared stories from my past that were either funny, like the staff horse trying to arrest my parents, or just other incredibly embarrassing stories. Today I'm going to do the same thing. However, I also asked you guys over on Instagram to send me some of your embarrassing stories so that I could add them in. So if you are watching and you hear your story, just know that I will keep these anonymous so that way then, people don't know who you are as they're embarrassing, but I know. So don't forget to give this video a like if you like these types of videos. Yeah, let's jump straight into my most embarrassing story of all time. As a kid, I used to snore a lot and I would get tonsillitis quite a bit, and my parents at the time wanted to kind of do something about it but really didn't know what to do or like what the best course of action was until my pediatrician suggested that I get my tonsils removed, and it would probably stop a lot of that consistent reoccurring infection. I wouldn't get tonsillitis as much anymore and it would be great. I would get tons of ice cream and I would be a happy camper. My parents at the time didn't want to get this done when I was like a kid. They thought for some reason it would be better to do it when I was like, I don't know, in fucking high school. And my dad had passed since then. It's my mum primarily looking after me, and I was booked in to get my tonsils out in year 7. I would have been about 12 or 13 at the time. I went in for surgery. I had my tonsils removed, got moved into the recovery room, and there was another girl with me who had just got her tonsils out too. When they wake you up, they say to you, we need to see you swallow, we need to see you eat, like we need to know that everything's like okay before we can let you go. And the girl next to me, like her parents like brought in McDonald's and she was like eating a slushie and a cheeseburger and she felt fine. And I remember feeling really off when I woke up. I remember thinking to myself, something doesn't feel quite right. Not just the fact that I had had 2 big massive fleshy balls removed from my body. Okay, that makes it sound like I just had my tonsils removed, so of course I wasn't gonna feel great. And they said to me, we can only let you go if you eat something. And I desperately wanted to go home. It was my first time having surgery, so I shoveled in a egg sandwich at the time, which if you know anything about having like a surgery done, there's like the smell of blood and bits and pieces. It's not good. So I ate a bloody egg sandwich and got sent home. Now a week passes and I am progressively getting sicker. At this point, there is something very, very wrong. I don't really know how to communicate it because I have just had surgery and I've had my tonsils removed, which is an uncomfortable surgery anyway. And I kept trying to tell my mum, like, something doesn't feel quite right and I'm unsure as to what it is. I just know that I'm not getting better, I'm getting worse. I can't eat anything. So for 6 or 7 days, I could only really stomach soup and baked beans, which if you know is not a good diet anyway, especially when you're unwell. And so my body was in shambles. I couldn't poop properly, I couldn't move. And then one evening, my tonsils decided to reopen themselves. So instead of staying closed together like a good little church girl, they just opened up like Red Square on a Thursday in Adelaide. If you know, you know. And I was rushed to hospital because I had lost quite a lot of blood and I was very, very unwell. The part of this that is embarrassing though is because I was so sick, and because I hadn't been able to eat anything solid for a few days, my body had turned itself into a tube of toothpaste. And I mean, when I was on the operating table, the nurse told me I had shit myself and they had to clean me up, change me, and that's why I wasn't in the same clothes that I was when I woke up. And I thought, yay, cool. Well, what could get worse than that? I almost died and I shit myself. I have no shame. I'm gonna take a nap. But when I woke up from that nap, to my surprise, I had in fact shit myself a second time, to which the nurse then said, don't worry, it happens to everyone. You're very lucky, you've had a lot of anesthesia, you'll be okay, we'll get you cleaned up. And I was in the same environment where like neonatal babies were, so I was also surrounded by people who were shitting themselves consistently, so it wasn't like scary or a big shock really, it was just, I felt like part of the group. And so I'd gotten cleaned up and I'd gotten, fixed again and decided that I would take yet another nap. Precautions wise though, I made sure that there is no way in hell I could possibly have anything left inside me, but I did. I shit myself not once, not twice, but 3 times after my emergency surgery to fix my tonsils. And that would be my most embarrassing story, because when you have had a grown-up look at you and say, I think to play it safe, we'll just get you some Depends, there's no shame left. I can do no wrong. Hello, what are you doing? What's your most embarrassing story? Do you want to share with the class?
My most embarrassing story of all time. One time there was this really hot streamer and she wanted art drawn of her as a Pokemon gym leader.
Is this me?
And
this is me, yep.
I tweeted her a photo that I drew in Microsoft Paint of her as a gym leader, and then she ignored it and never
For
responded.
3 years?
For 4 years, and then
I
4 years later I smashed and now we're in love.
That's not embarrassing though. That's like a
No, but you
win.
left me. No, you left. It was embarrassing
That's
for
weird.
4 years.
That's a
4
win.
years. 4 years it was embarrassing.
But that's like a win. I just told everyone about how I shit myself like 3 times.
I shit myself while I was walking the dog one time.
That's not embarrassing though. Oh my god, so many of these are poop related. Okay, it seems to be a theme. I think that as humans, the most embarrassing thing you can do is defecate in an environment where you're not supposed to. Because so many of these, which I'm gonna read out to you, are about very similar or like on the same spectrum of, and I'm not talking about autism, because it's not an autistic trait to shit yourself, although chances are if you do, you might be on the spectrum. I threw up on stage during a grade school performance at college in front of 1,000 people. My 2 biggest fears in life are throwing up when I can't do anything about it. So it's like I have a fear at the moment of being at the nail salon, getting my nails done or getting my hair done and getting the urge to throw up and not being able to either communicate that I need to throw up or just throwing up on or in front of me and there's nothing I can do about it. Or my other one is dying and I have my pants down, because I feel like that would be really embarrassing too, like to die. I mean, I'm gonna be dead, so I'm not gonna know, but if I'm dead and my pants are down, that's embarrassing. People get to look at my butthole and I'm dead. Drunk at Georgetown University party, campus police let me go and I woke up at Mickey D's. That sounds like a good night though. That's a fond evening because you didn't get hurt, you didn't lose anything, and you got McDonald's at the end of the night, which is like no embarrassing at all. That's a good one. Shit myself on the side of the freeway on my drive to work. My IBS got the best of me. I've said it before and I'll say it again. All hot girls have IBS. It's either all hot girls have IBS or all hot girls have migraines or headaches. There's like, you're either a hot migraine girl or a hot IBS girl, and there's no in between. And if you've got both of them, you're probably a big titty goth girl. In my mind, that's how that works. I shit myself as an adult while driving to work. While driving my work van, I was positive it was just a fart. Poo. I always say this, if you can't trust your farts, you need more fiber in your life. You need more, I think it's mycelium fiber, not the other one. The one that's like Metamucil, which is so old lady, but you should be drinking more fiber, because if you can't trust a fart and you don't have stomach problems, then that's on you. That is your stomach telling you, please, just for the love of God, put something good in me. Oh my God, this one's gnarly as. I stepped out of the shower and halfway had explosive diarrhea paint the walls. Why? What is going on? This whole video is now just doo-doo caca video. Like, it's just talking about shit. Okay, this one is not about poop, but it is about adult content. This one says, my girlfriend sent an R18 Lola Bunny meme and I'm on set. Common is standing over my shoulder and he saw it. I feel like though in today's society, with the amount of like corn that is out there, or like Rule 38, is it Rule 38? You could just blame that on, you could be scrolling in public and it will come up on your feed. Like there's no avoiding it. And there's so much AI corn too that's like random and weird, like the ones of like Mark Zuckerberg kissing Elon Musk and shit. Like there's nothing you could do about it. It's everywhere, and it would be more embarrassing if it's yourself in a compromising position that you don't want people to see. However, I wouldn't be embarrassed. I'd be a little uncomfortable, but I wouldn't be embarrassed. My first month at college, I shit my pants in front of my new friends. I was about 100 yards away from the toilet. Are they still your friends? That's what I want to know. Because if they're still your friends, you have to like friend 8th base in like one day, which is a good way to do it because then it's like you weed out the weak, you know? It's like if you can't handle me at me shitting myself, then you don't deserve me at my pissing myself. Because not every poo-poo time is a pee-pee time. No, every pee-pee time. This one says, I got caught jacking off by my mum and my sister. It scarred me for life. I think it scarred them for life. It's safe to say equally as scarred and as embarrassed because no one wants to see somebody that they're not romantically or sexually interested in jacking it, and especially not a sibling. I think that might actually take the cake for being like the worst one. Oh no, this actually is way worse. This is so much worse. This is so much worse. This one says, my brother walked in on me losing my virginity. This is why locks were invented for things, or like, I don't know, the sock on the door, so that way then people know not to come in. Because how does that happen? I don't need to know the answers of those questions ever. That's probably a funny story where he's laughing at you, not with you, that he tells his friends. This is so bad. This one says, when I was 4, my brother gave me a bottle of apple juice. It was piss. Is your brother a psychopath? That's so fucked up. More to the point, did you drink it? Because if he let you drink it, jail time, actual jail time, because that's a criminal offense, I think. That's child endangerment. I feel like you did drink it. If you know that it was piss, you 100% took either a sniff or a sip. No. What if this was true love? What if this was true love and you ruined it with this? This one says, I took a girl to the movies and farted. Not only did it smell awful, it was a wet fart. She left 15 minutes after. Why didn't you just say, excuse me, I have to use the bathroom? There's nothing wrong with getting up and farting in the toilet. Like, what? If it was love, she would have stayed and it would be a funny, what do they call it? Little quirk of the relationship of like, and that's how I knew we were soulmates, because I let out a fart in the cinema and so-and-so sat there and said, did you fart? And I said yes, and she said, haha, that's so funny, and then we made love. See, this is embarrassing in the sense of somebody else will remember this long term and you've become a moment in somebody else's time. This one says, I walked into the window next to a glass door at a film festival in front of Elijah Woods, not once but twice. I guarantee you he remembers that. He might not remember it to a T, but he will always remember the film festival where he saw somebody smack into a window twice. Suzuki in the city just responded to me about upgrading the chimney. Yay! All right, I have to deal with that after. That's so cool. We could do some camping videos with it. If you guys want to see a video of me trying to survive 24 hours inside the Suzuki chimney, you let me know down in the comments below, because I'm trying to do something. If you want to see me live in my chimney for 24 hours, comment down below and I will definitely get to that and do that for a video. This is so funny. Theo sent me one too saying, I ordered protein overseas and my government refused to let me have it. That is so good. Not once, not twice, but also 3 times did I try and send one of my friends some protein, and for some reason the government just said, nope, it's not coming in, send it back. And it did. It came back every time, and the last time we got the box looked like it had quite literally gone to the Chernobyl reactor and back. It was trash. There was nothing left of it. It was held together by a single piece of duct tape. And so we kind of gave up on that. This is a really long one. Okay, story time. Went on a date with this girl and it ended poorly. So she picks me up and drives me 30 minutes to a restaurant, manual car, and that's key. This person can't drive manual. So we are having a good time, and then she goes to the bathroom. About 15 to 20 minutes go by and nothing. Next minute, an ambulance rocks up at the door and wheel a bed into the toilet. I'm thinking, oh, that's a bit strange. Hopefully she's just been helping somebody who is hurt. Next minute, she gets rolled out with the green whistle because she slipped and dislocated her shoulder and destroyed her collarbone. So I take my steak and chips in the back of the ambulance with this girl I've just met. 3 hours later in the ER, and she gets seen to. Turns out she was a sailor, so her shoulders were already chalked, having screws holding in her shoulder shoulders as it is, hence why it couldn't just get popped back in. So I'm sat in the room whilst they finally somehow managed to get her shoulder back in and say we can stay the night, but I have to sit in a big comfy chair, and the hospital says you guys will be alright, you can leave. So like 2 to 3 a.m. at this stage, and we have to drive 30 minutes home, and then I get in her car and realize it's a manual and her left arm is cooked, so she says, I'll drive you, just shift the gears. We successfully arrive home after I shifted the gears. She doesn't want to come in for the night. I've got a free house. She drives home, says she made it home, but doesn't want to talk to me anymore. That is just embarrassing for her though, because that's such a good like, here's how I met your mother type of story anyway. It seems like she was embarrassed about the whole thing, and probably that you couldn't drive her home, that you had to shift the gears for her and couldn't work out the clutch. Because if a man can't find the clutch, he certainly can't find... This one is from a good friend of mine. Thou who shall not be named but know who they are. Left my suction cup base on the shower wall and the cleaners took it off and washed it. I made eye contact with them when they left. I think that that's really sweet. They washed it for you. That's girl power. And also making eye contact with them is like, yeah, I'm not embarrassed. I wouldn't even call that an embarrassing story. I'd call that a win. I think that's where I'll leave those. If you guys have any more embarrassing stories that you want to share, that you feel comfortable sharing with your name attached to them, let me know in the comments below. These aren't that embarrassing. What I've learned from this is that shitting yourself is more common than I think, and that makes that less embarrassing, because it seems like everyone that you talk to has either shit themselves or knows somebody who has shit themselves. So that's like 1 in 2, and statistically speaking, that's pretty normal. And if it's normal, we shouldn't be embarrassed about it. If you liked this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be putting out new videos every week. Hopefully I can stick to a consistent schedule again. I know I was gone for a bit. We're not gonna talk about it. I was too busy shitting my pants, all right? And I will see you guys in the next one.